Good morning, everyone. This is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome to my monthly. Hold on. Welcome to my monthly Friday Folds class. I'm going to give everyone a few seconds to join me. Hi, Julie. Okay, I'm going to go over a few things while everybody's chiming in. My door prize for the month of June, and we only have a few days left. Anybody that places an order with me, your name will be entered into my monthly drawing, and that includes all my paper pumpkin subscriptions. My hostess code for June, make sure you use that on when you check out of the online store. What happens with this, a lot of people have been asking me questions. So when you use my hostess code for orders of $50 to $149.99, you get pooled with other customers, and you guys earn free products from me based on the whole party with everybody combined in sales. So today I'm using the Sailing Home stamp set and the smooth sailing dies. We also have some coordinating designer paper that I wanted to show you. So let me bring that in. Let me show you all of the sheets. So we've got a lot of the striped patterns, which I like. And then I'll show you the other side once I get all 6 sheets in here. And this is the last one. I've used some of this one already. Let me flip those over and show you the second side. For those of you that signed up for my product shares, you should have received all of your new products last week, and this was included in the product share. I love this one with the knots, the nautical knots. Okay, that's all 12 of the patterns. And today I'm actually using this one here. It's got little stripes on it. I also wanted to show you in the catalog. This suite of products has so many ideas that you can pick from. If you just look at the cover, for example, there's 5 projects right here. And then if you turn to page 11, there's one more down here that you can copy or case. And I like the way they did the catalog this time with listing all of the suites at the front and telling you what page to go on. So this tells you to go to page 145 and look at all the other samples here. We have a whole bunch. So you have at least a dozen samples to pick from to help you design your cards. So today I'm going to be creating what's called a crossover gatefold card. This is what the card looks like. It's got 2 panels on the front, and then it opens, the 2 panels open separately, and that's to reveal the inside. So this is what I'm going to show you how to create today. And I'm actually going to flop the colors around. Instead of using the Night of Navy on the card base, I'm going to use Balmy Blue, 8.5 by 5.5. I'm going to go ahead and score that at the gatefold, 2 1/8 on both ends. So we're just going to score at 2 1/8, flip this around to the other end and do 2 1/8. So you can see that you have the 2 score lines on each end. I'm going to bring that in and fold on the score lines. So if you make a regular gatefold, this is what a gatefold would be. Just 2 panels that fold towards the center. But we're adding these 2 pieces on the front, so that's where the crossover gatefold comes in. Now this is Night of Navy, 4 inches by 2.5, so you need 2 pieces of that. And then for the layering, you see here I have white and designer paper. These measure the same, 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. And once the video is over with, I'll put all the dimensions so you guys can go ahead and make your own card. This is for the inside, 4 inches by 5 1/4. We need a scrap Balmy Blue for punching and a scrap piece of white for the stamping. So I'm going to go ahead and do the stamping first. And the watercoloring. I don't know if you could see on the video, I have some watercoloring on the background there and a little bit on the bottom. So I'm going to do that first just to leave enough time for it to dry. For ink colors, Night of Navy, Balmy Blue, and Crumb Cake. So I'm going to dig out the Balmy Blue to do my watercoloring. I'm actually going to use the lid and just squeeze the cover. And that gives you some ink inside. I'm using an aqua painter and I'm actually going to drop some water right in my case. Make this nice and watery. So this is for the bottom of the inside of the card. That's all I'm going to do, and when it dries, it's going to be a lot lighter. Now for the panel that goes in the front, I'm just going to quickly do that. And again, that's going to dry a lot lighter. So I'm going to set this aside to dry, and we'll do the stamping while that dries. Let's see, I'm all done with the Balmy Blue. Now I'm bringing in the Night of Navy. I'm actually going to stamp my sentiment first so I can cut it out. And this says, let hope be your anchor through storms of life. And I'm using the tailored tag punch to punch that out. It just barely fits in there. Okay, so there's my sentiment. Now I'm going to go ahead and stamp my little sailboats. So I stamped the little one twice. And this is with Night of Navy ink. And one of the large one. And don't forget to share my video as you're watching. What I'll do is draw a name for everyone that shared. I'm going to draw a name to win one of these cards. Now I'm going to use the aqua painter. I'm going to actually wipe it down so it's not so wet. And I'm only going to rub just a little bit on the sails. I'm using the ink lines. You can see here how it adds just a little bit of color. Okay, and next I'm going to use Crumb Cake ink. And I don't want to spread the lines that you see on the sailboat itself, so I'm going to just quickly swipe right in that white area. If you don't play around with it too much, the ink lines don't get smudged. See how quick that was to color the sailboats? Now I'm going to bring in the big shot so I can cut those out. That's the only cutting I have today. And I'm using the 2 sailboat dies. I am going to use washi tape. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed that on our new dies this year in the catalog, they're a lot closer to the ink lines so that there's not as much white space. And I really like that they've done that. Okay, there's 2 of the sailboats. Got 1 more. So let me put this one through. Okay, now we can go ahead and assemble the card. Now I did want to, before I go any further, stamp the inside of the card. As you can see, I just added the 1 sailboat. That's going to go right on the bottom where I added the water. And again, I'm going to do the same thing by using the ink lines to add color. And the crumb cake to do the bottom of the boat. Okay, so the inside of my card is all set to go. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that in place. I just noticed I have some ink on my fingers. I better stop and wipe because you know what happens. I'm probably going to get it all over the panel. Okay, so there's the inside of the card. Now let me close this up so you can see what I did. Next is going to be the Night of Navy layers. So I'm just going to add glue to half of it, half of these two pieces. And they're cut in size so that you can leave 1/4 of an inch spacing all the way around. Okay, so there's, you glued it just to half of the cardstock, one flap. Now we're going to take the adhesive and put it in the opposite direction. Okay, and that's going to go right there. Next is the designer paper layer. And I need to cut out one shape with the Everyday Label punch using the Balmy Blue. That's going to be glued flat also. And that goes right in the center. And then we're going to add the sentiment with Stampin' Dimensionals. So once you have all of your layers cut, this is a really quick card to put together. Okay, that goes right there. Next, I don't know if you noticed the little anchor embellishment that I added here. That's from the Sail Away trinkets. And we have 2 trinkets in our little package here. We've got the little anchor and then the little wheel. So I'm going to, whoops, let me put that one back in. I'm actually using the anchor today. And I'm also using the baker's twine that goes with this suite. I'm going to thread that right through. Tie a double knot. And then I'm just going to cut this piece a little shorter than the other one. And we're going to glue that in place with glue dots. Now what I did is I added a glue dot where the knot is, and then another one way at the bottom. And then I just press this down right here. So there's my little embellishment. Now all we have left to do is to glue the sailboats. I gotta find my white piece. Oh, I just put my towel on there. That's okay, it gives it a little nice look there. I had my wet paper towel. It's kind of neat because it added this little weaved dimension to it. Okay, that goes right there. Now on the large sailboat, when you cut it out with the Big Shot, there's a little piece there that you pop out that goes along the sails. Make sure you don't forget to pop that one out. We're gonna do the big one with Stampin' Dimensionals and one of the small ones. So I'm going to add the large sailboat in place first. And then I'm going to glue the flat one by tucking it in behind. And that's going to go about there. And the last one is going to go over to the right. Now I needed some birds. So let me get my little bird image. And there's my little birds. Now I wanted to show you a little trick that I used with my birds. Let me see if I can find a scrap. So I made a little error when I did this one. If you'll notice, this one has 3 birds, this one has 4. I'm going to see if I can repeat what I did. So I pressed a little too hard and there's a little dot there. I'm actually going to cut off this excess rubber, but I wanted to show you how I fixed that. So I'm going to clean my stamp. I wanted to cover this little dot. So I brought in my Stampin' Right marker. I colored just one of the birds. And then I put him right over that dot. So see how I fixed that? That's what happened on this one. I had that little dot in the background that I wanted to cover. So I just thought I'd mention that in case that happens to you. So that's it for my card today, everyone. This is again called the crossover gatefold. And I swapped the colors out. And let me open this one so you can see what the inside looks like. And there's the stamp set. So feel free to order any of these products through my online store. And just give me a few minutes and I'll go add the measurements at the top of my posts. Thanks so much for joining me today, everyone. Have a good weekend.